Full Circle Radio. And so, looks like weather is the topic of the day today. Is Hurricane Helene is coming up Florida, coming through Georgia, and it looks like Atlanta is going to direct hit, and then Kia right now. We're just waiting for her electricity to abruptly go off because she's right in the eye of the storm. No, that's a joke. But it's not. So anyway, these hurricanes are nothing to play with. We always pray when they come around. If you have not, for some of y'all watch the show who don't live on the East Coast or don't live south and east and have never experienced a hurricane, it is frightening. And you just pray that keep going. And it's over. You're like, all right. So anyway, in the midst of that, we got a hurricane coming up November the 5th. It is Trump versus Kamala Harris, and it's just the quiet before the storm right now. You know, we're having these days and just wondering because we talk all this stuff and the whole thing with the debates and Trump getting his butt whooped and he talking about McDonald's and all types of craziness, and he still has not lost any ground in potentially being our next president. Kamala Harris is out here doing the best she can to protect her McDonald's work record, and he's just, anyway. All right, Janet Jackson has questioned Kamala's ethnicity because one of her family members told her. Mark Robinson, the dude out of North Carolina, the black dude out of North Carolina, Lieutenant Governor, who called himself a Nazi. D.L. Hughley talked about Janet Jackson's rules, and anything else, we'll get to it. All right, social media. Make sure y'all follow us on all the social medias. We're live right now on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks, on the Twitches, and all that good stuff. I gotta share the show.
Mic.
Huh?
Your mic is really bad.
My mic is bad.
It sounds like you got a mouthful of marbles, and either you need to move it closer or get that arm back going where it was hanging in your face.
Well, the arm is coming. I got a new one coming, but it sounds perfectly fine.
Can you tip the mic up a little higher? Because none of what you said in your opening.
Is that better? Is that
better?
Yeah,
it needs to be closer to your mouth.
It's like so loud in my ear. I can't believe that you're telling me you cannot hear me. You cannot hear me. Can you hear me now?
Your opening was nothing but mumbling.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can. So if you're going to do like this the whole show.
Is it clear if I'm like this? Is it clear if I'm like this? Is it clear if I'm like this?
It's clear when you're close to the mic.
Is it clear when I'm like this?
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't sitting like that the whole show. All right.
You got a book or a Bible or an encyclopedia you can step it up on?
Whatever. So like I said, I got a new mic stand coming Saturday because it is what it is. All right. So,
cool.
And I'll go back to check that out. The sound fine in my ear. Super producer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hurricane Central here in Florida. So let me tell you, my mother lives in St. Petersburg Beach, Florida. She lived right by the water. She's like 2 seconds from forcibly being evacuated. She was like, no, because, your auntie don't want to leave and your cousin don't want to leave, so I'm just going to stay with them. So now y'all are just 3 old black women who are just staying in an unsafe zone. And let me tell you something. Me and my brother told her, if CNN come to interview you about why y'all was still there, do not throw me and my brother under the bus saying y'all ain't have no family, nowhere to go. Because we've asked you 5 times to get in your car.
Where's your brother?
Lakeland. My brother's an hour away from here. He was in Lakeland.
Okay.
She said no. So good luck with the storm, mommy. Okay. Godspeed.
All right. And so we're praying for all the greatness. See if that improves. Yeah, that improves my little mood. Did improve my little mood, right? My light?
Yeah, your light's a lot better.
Yeah. So, it's so funny the things you can do with light. So, we started an initiative and I have a Facebook group and the whole program we're building with my buddy CJ Nurse and Alex Lewis. We create a lot of content and we do a lot of marketing, that's what we do, right? And so, community builds are really big right now, right? So people they build all this. You work with clients who build communities and they make a bunch of money building communities. So we're about to be in community building business. And so after it's all said and done, one of the things that my wife took away from our webinar yesterday was that Chris's background is dope and basically mine is trash. So she said, you want me to help you with yours? And I'm like, sure, you can help me with mine. So I just cut on my little light and now I have more depth of field behind me.
You have more depth of field, but you got to get a wall like this. Look at this.
I would never want a wall like that. No, thank you.
Why? This is great.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well,
I have a
I love
nice
it.
wall back here. I just, it's not in the frame, and it'll probably never be in the frame on this show because it doesn't need to be. All right, let's move on. So, Diddy the Diddler. That brother is not going to see the light of day
No.
for the foreseeable future. Um, if these rich now, which one of them killed themselves in jail? Which one of the which one was it? The one of the
Well, we'll
Jewish
put
guy. What's
quotes
his name?
around quick killed, and you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein. How did he die?
He hung himself
Right.
magically.
So
Magically, he was able to tie several sheets into a knot and hang himself.
yeah,
And most likely, and again, I'm sorry that I know this information. He probably did a prison hang where basically they tie the sheet to the jail cell and they just sit down,
yeah,
which
yeah.
takes a lot of
Does
dedication,
that
by the
sound better?
way.
Did I do anything with to my sound? Did I do anything what I just did? You don't hear anything
No.
different. All right, just making sure. So when now they're talking about Diddy and and now I saw a video earlier today where something about I guess during the making the band and he had a bunch of dudes standing around singing for beds and then there's video circulating and then there's people pulling back up Usher talking about stuff that he saw when he lived with Diddy and I have not paid any attention to any of this for the last 20 to 25 years, however, whatever the number is, right? Um,
Okay.
have you? Have you been
I
paying
have.
attention?
I've heard the Diddy stories. I've heard I've heard the Usher stories. I've heard the Justin Bieber rumors. I've heard the Diddy stories. I have had friends who are models, and I've heard their stories. And
Mm-hmm.
you kind of go, "Oh, cool." You take it with a grain of salt. But what's happening right now? Diddy is in jail, and he's being prosecuted by the Southern District of New York. And for those of you guys who know about the Southern District of New York, they have like a 97% conviction rate. If the Southern District of New York is going after you, it's just because they formally have to go through the process of having
Of
you go
going
through a
after
court
you,
trial to defend yourself. They
right?
already have, huh?
Yeah. They have to formally have to go, but they got you. You're right.
They
Go
already
ahead.
got
Finish your
you. They
thought.
have all
Finish
the
your thought.
evidence they need and everything. But it was a very sad watching his children go to his bail hearing, and the judge basically told him, "No, absolutely not. You are not getting out on bail because And she didn't say this, but a lot of people are saying it's because we don't trust you that you're not going to contact witnesses. We don't believe that you're just going to sit in your house on house arrest, which is what it would be, and that you're just going to sit there, no phone, watch your TV, maybe have some contact with your lawyer, and you're not going to be reaching out to your massive network of friends that range anywhere from his little drug dealing side quick kick white boy who used to pay for, I think who did that boy used to play for? He played basketball for some team,
Oh yeah, I
all
do
the way up,
remember hearing about that. Yeah.
yeah, all the way up to Royals. Like you've had the Prince William and Prince Harry at your parties.
Um,
Stop making that face when I mention these children. Like you always like, what are you talking about?
I keep telling you, I don't give a rat about them royal people, and you pull them up. I said Royals. Who are the Royals? Whose last name is
But
Royal?
think about how massive your friend group has to be from somebody some crappy porn stars, Amber Roses of the world, all the way to Prince William and Prince Harry. That is a stop it. What we're not going to do is just let's roll out baby oil jokes. We
Yeah,
can,
we are.
but let's hold
Yeah.
off for a second.
Go ahead.
Do you have a sound effect for baby oil? I thought you were reaching back for a
No, I
sound
do
effect.
not. No.
But listen, but really quick, he is in jail now, and a source close to Diddy's Combs investigation claims that the entertainment mogul may not be eating in jail because he is scared and paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, he's scared of dying. Again, I get why he is paranoid, but other people are suggesting that the reason why he's not eating is because the food is just not good in jail.
Oh, I'm
I feel
sure.
like
Come on, man.
seems a little bit closer to reality.
Yeah, you're talking about Diddy has been wealthy. He's been rich at least since 1990. Probably before that. He's been street rich longer than that because he was a
I
big
was going
time
to say,
promoter. Huh?
even at
Yeah,
Howard, he
he
was
was a
never.
big time promoter in DC, Howard, doing parties, all that stuff, coming out of New York. He was street rich probably as most recent as 88. He's been wealthy obviously since the mid 90s. The better part of 30 years, he has been on top of the financial world. And now he's eating beanie weenies and applesauce. So, I and then it just starts to make me wonder about a lot of things. Like, Um, obviously Kim Porter. People talk about Kim Porter and how she passed away.
Really quick, there's no
Right.
book out, guys. I know a lot of people are going on Amazon, keep thinking there's a book out. People are saying the Kim's Last Words is out on Amazon now, and people are
Mm-hmm.
reading expert. That is not a real book.
Mm-hmm.
That is somebody's interpretation of what they think her life was like. The book is not
Mm-hmm.
real. You can go ahead. So I want to make sure we put
So,
that out there.
you had Kim Porter, you have, Heavy D who passed away. And all these people are people who associated with Uptown, the record company that he was started with. Now, Heavy D died of, I believe they said he died of pneumonia or something off travel. You have uh, I'll be sure just a couple of years back, he had
He had a
this bout,
stroke.
and then you just start and I haven't had a chance to look at. They say that he's telling a bunch of on social media. He's really telling some stories about what has happened over the years. Because I'll be sure R&B singer from the late '80s, early '90s. His son is the one that he had a baby with Kim Porter prior to
Yep.
Diddy, and Diddy raised his son as his own. And I don't know, man. The more we hear, the more I'm just like, Diddy was, and then I don't know if you know this or not, but Diddy's father, who was murdered, was an associate of Frank Lucas.
Yes.
But people don't know Frank Lucas is the character that Denzel Washington played in American Gangster,
Yes.
and then Hoodlum is one of my favorite movies with Lawrence Fishburne, and so all of this stuff is all coming where it's kind of like we was all talking about Suge Knight and how bad he was and.
But here's the thing. Diddy's never Diddy's never had a good reputation. When you think
Mhm.
about it, artists who have been on Bad Boy, can we name one successful Bad Boy artist?
Well, you can name a lot of successful. It's just they didn't make no money until they left.
Well,
Um,
to me, that's not successful. If you
mhm.
didn't make any money while you were there, you were scrounging for whatever, that doesn't mean you were successful. I mean, everybody's like, well, Mace was successful. Yes. And when he tried to be by himself, he all of a sudden now is not making music and is now for Jesus. And now he's a podcaster. Who else? He had
Well,
Danny
yeah,
Kane for a little bit. Danny
yeah,
Kane had massive success. Then he decided he was bored with them or whatever happened and kicked them to the curb.
yeah. Well,
Who else?
well, going back, Diddy started on Uptown. Diddy was the original manager of Jodeci and Mary J. Blige,
That's a
and
horrible example of Jodeci. Jodeci
why?
was on Jodeci, where people keep forgetting that Jodeci were drug addicts, and nobody got them help when they were drug addicts. Mary J. Blige, when she was with Uptown, was a drug addict. Like, why
But
do
there's
people keep
still.
skating over that?
I'm not skating over any of it. I lived it. That was I'm their age, right? What I'm saying
Okay.
is that Diddy was the example of what the record industry was. And it always has been a pimp game. I mean, that's a whole. We need to have a different show on that because the game is starting to circle back around. Kevin Lyles, who's been around forever, he resigned the day that Diddy was arrested, and so a lot of that whole. You don't know who that is?
I said I knew that was going to happen. I know who
Oh,
Kevin
okay.
Lyles is because Kevin
Yeah,
Lyles used to come to FAM and recruit guys to be in his internship program.
he would do what the guys
Recruit
recruit.
guys to
Oh,
be in his
okay.
internships. You thought I said something else.
Hey, man, in this day and age, I'm just like, oh Lord, you dropping some more nonsense on me, and I'm not ready for it. Um,
No.
so it's really, I just look at this thing, and I got a question for you. I got a question for
Yeah.
you. Is Diddy canceled like R. Kelly now? Is Bad Boy
Yes.
canceled like R. Kelly now?
Yes.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Is it?
Yes. Loudly, yes. Bad Boy and Diddy are canceled. Bad
So
Boy has
no,
always been
no more, so no more Biggie.
that Diddy
I
has
want you to think this through now.
no.
I want you to think this through now. Bad Boy. That means no more Diddy. That means no. That means no more. No more. All about the Benjamins. That means no more Little Kim. That means I really want to know if people believe that Diddy that Bad Boy is canceled now. I'm
I
wondering.
honestly believe Bad Boy is canceled. The reason why is that Diddy has been so pervasive and just been a crap person. I mean, there are now stories out, which I believe that Biggie was trying to get out of his contract. And if Biggie was trying to get out of his contract and whatever happened, it makes me sad to listen to his music knowing he just wanted to be released by Bad Boy. He
Mm-hmm.
was stuck and ended up dying. I mean, when you look at
Mm-hmm.
Little Kim is probably, was she actually on Bad Boy or was she on something else?
No, she as a solo artist. I mean, Lil Kim was on Bad Boy. Junior Mafia they were not on Bad Boy, but they were managed. They were all managed by Diddy. But to your point, um, I don't think no, they're not. Bad Boy is not canceled, and I'm not in the clubs anymore. But I just can't see. I can't see DJs not playing Biggie anymore. I can't see DJs not playing
Well,
All About
it
the
has to be
Benjamins.
remastered. It has to be remastered, removed
I'm
out Diddy's
wondering.
ad libs. Like,
Now that might be happening. There may be some remixes that are pulling Diddy out of this music. But you think about it, R. Kelly was has been stripped from rotation.
oh,
Like,
absolutely.
the Aaliyah tracks that had R. Kelly on it, they've taken that out.
Yes.
Um, and so I think it's going to be more difficult to do that. Now, mind you, the biggest difference between Diddy and R. Kelly is that Diddy made albums. He was a rapper. Quote, get my quotes in the screen. R. Kelly, it was his songs. It was no
Yeah.
doubt when you listen to R. Kelly, that's R. Kelly. You can
Yeah.
kind of slide through some Bad Boy stuff, like Craig. There's too many hits that came out of the '90s, out of that Bad Boy entertainment, that's playing on R&B stations all over the world right now, and that
Yeah, but
stuff ain't
even
going
even
nowhere.
even the mainstream songs that he's done with white artists, they're actually getting those songs remastered. Kesha's getting her songs remastered. A lot of artists are just like, listen, just take them out, re-edit it, re put it out there. If it is going to get any radio play, redistribute it. And listen, Bad Boy has never been, anybody got signed to Bad Boy, everybody would always laugh like, how you got signed to Bad Boy? You ain't going nowhere. You ain't gonna do nothing with your life.
That is
So
that is two different generations. Bad Boy ran music for Gen X.
I'm the
Bad Boy,
generation right after you who knew that Bad Boy was a joke only because of how he treated his artists. And you see that now in hindsight how he treated his artists was not good.
no, but how he treated his art, I'm not even disputing that. I'm not
Okay, good.
disputing that he treated his artists like trash. But you cannot convince me or anybody from Gen X to sit up here and say Bad Boy was trash. Bad Boy, think about it.
No, 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 no,
4
no,
years
no.
ago,
Bad Boy made good music.
right, 4 years ago, when the conversation was this versus of Bad Boy versus Jermaine Dupri, we were
Yeah,
all just like, "Whoa, that would be something."
absolutely.
You gotta put
Yes,
that thing in State Farm Arena. That's got to be in Madison Square Garden. That's gonna be the biggest party ever. And I think
absolutely.
and I think part of the thing about Diddy is the reason why people have such a problem with Diddy is that he was the man when it comes down to throwing. You felt like a party whenever Diddy was around. I remember the Bad Boys reunion tour that came to Atlanta 6, 7, 8 years ago was amazing, and Mace was there, and Kim was there, and I think Jodeci, whoever else showed up, and the show was amazing because as the 25-year-old me in the club, 30-year-old me that was in the club, Bad Boy ran like 10 summers. It was Diddy. And so now we're looking at all this stuff and we're saying the people was joking about the making the band and go get the walk over the bridge and get the cake. And now, there's that. Remember that video that's around about him closing the deal and he slams the phone down and screams, "I'm a savage," and all this type of stuff. And we all look at
Yeah,
that thing like that's just Diddy being Diddy. And now we're
yeah.
looking at it like, whew.
We're looking at now this is Diddy being Diddy. All the rumors and funny stories and a Diddy party, Diddy's white party. It's all a wrap. I mean, I pray for his children. I really do pray
Mm,
for his children 100%. I hope his
mm-hmm,
children survive this. And by survive, I mean don't end up being depressed or thinking something's their fault or whatever, or feeling like
mm-hmm,
they've got duped. He's still your dad. It doesn't. I don't doubt for a minute that Diddy loves his children, not
mm-hmm.
at all. But he's a horrible example for his boys. He really, honestly, is
Oh
if they've
yeah,
ever been exposed to
there's
any of this stuff.
no doubt. There's no doubt, and I think it's kind of that testament of we really know a lot of really really treacherous people that entertain us and man, it's almost like you don't want to know your heroes, man. Some of these people are
No, you never
popping
meet
out.
your heroes. Always let you down.
Oh my god. I can just imagine what people, if they care, what people are thinking about the Hulk Hogan's of the world now and what is coming out of him over the last 5 or 10 years. And you got to realize from the 1980s, 90s, 2000s, this guy was a god in that wrestling community. And so now the more you're getting to know these people, even now, one of the stories you want to talk about today is Janet Jackson. And Janet, like, all these years you ain't said nothing, but you're gonna come out here and put your nose in this Kamala Harris conversation. Girl, Janet, stop.
Well,
And
wait, before
yeah.
we go there, I feel like a lot of people, because I'm looking at how everybody's reacting to certain posts that I'm making, and it looks like everybody wants to talk Mark Robinson right now, from what I'm seeing. So we can just
Mm-hmm.
go into that real quick, and then we'll go on to Janet. So Mark Robinson is the running for the governor of North Carolina, and he recently had probably some of the most salacious stuff I've ever read that somebody wrote. He wrote fan fiction. And honestly, him calling himself a black Nazi wasn't even the worst. Wasn't even the worst of it. I actually read some of his fan fiction, and he is a perverted, pervasive porn writer, like fan fiction
What is
porn.
fan fiction?
Like
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
fan fiction porn is like you watch a porn and you're like, I could write that better. Like I can take this porn video as the basis of my inspiration and write it better and really pay tribute to the characters that I'm watching. And it's disgusting. I mean, full on, this not gonna pick up nowhere. Full on anal sex scenes, urination on
Yeah,
each other.
yeah. We ain't got to go into depth on that.
I'm just saying. And he actually, and what the real story is that everybody always thinks Republicans always stick together like glue. Well, the Republican Governor's Board has decided we really want you to drop out. We don't want anything to do with you. You suck. Please leave our party. Then, when he decided, oh, I'm still going to stay in the race, he lost his senior staff members. He has lost his who those resigning include Brian Lavecchi, the chief of staff and general counsel, Jonathan Harris, the policy director, John Wesley Waugh, the director of communications, and Nathan Lewis, director of government affairs. These are all the people who make a campaign run.
But I'm like, dude, like if you're in these meetings, let's just role play right now. You know, I'm Mark Robinson, and I'm sitting in a meeting with my staff, and I'm saying, and they come to
He
me and
loves
say,
role play.
sir, well, you play his staff. I'm gonna play Mark Robinson. We're gonna role play here for a second.
Sure, we'll role play. Let's do it. So, sir, we have had this report come out. We are looking at a lot of these comments, and this really isn't looking good.
What's not looking good?
So we're looking at your profile on Nude Africa, and it's actually using your real. It's really called Nude Africa. I'm sorry, I was messing with you. We're looking at your profile on Nude Africa. That's
I don't know anything
using
about what is Nude Africa. I don't understand. What is that?
It's the website that you have an account on where you talk about. I don't want to say it in this meeting, but you talk about a lot of inappropriate things. This has been distributed by CNN. It's been distributed by all the major news networks.
Yeah, CNN's fake news. CNN's fake news. Yeah, they're fake news. Yeah.
Yes, but they've cross-referenced your email with your current Twitter account and your current email address and your current Instagram.
Somebody hacked my email. Somebody hacked my email.
Okay,
they're attacking me. They're attacking me because I'm supporting Donald Trump, and it's the fake liberal fake media.
That's great, sir, and I agree with you. I'm on your side.
Are you on my side?
We need to have a real.
Are you on my side? You should be protecting me. You should be out here. You along with my. I don't get down with
scene. But that's probably how it went.
All right, so Mark Robinson, running for lieutenant governor, and he done got caught up in some freak stuff. And you talking about you didn't introduce me to some new stuff about fan fiction and Nude Africa, and ouch. Can't wait to get my daggum arm back for my microphone. All right, so anyway, these are the people that the Republicans are saying he's worth fighting for. And here's the thing we can learn.
They're not fighting for him.
Huh?
They're not fighting for him. No, he's trailing so far behind in the Carolinas. It's ridiculous. And all the Republicans want him to drop out. The only person who's saying, "Oh yeah, he's a nice guy," is Trump. No one else is.
And that's the ironic thing about that. Trump won't even. He's still claiming we are in Looneyville right now. I just look at this stuff. You got Trump who's jumping on Kamala Harris about whether or not she's served burgers at McDonald's, and that's getting part of the news cycle. And here's the thing. I think one or two of Kamala Harris's campaign offices were shot at today. And that's not even
in Arizona.
not even at the top of the news cycle. This is not even at the top of the news cycle because we are such in Looneyville right now. You've got this guy running for lieutenant governor who is a freak and
running for governor, not lieutenant governor.
Running for governor, and he's saying, "No, I'm not gonna drop out." Like they look at this thing and they said, and here's the funny thing, and he's a black dude. You look at this thing, and of course, you know these folks on the right.
He looks like Uncle Ruckus. And even funnier, I know what you're just saying. I know what you were saying that how Republicans still report him, but at least 10 Republicans and conservative groups have either canceled their event or erased their digital footprint of supporting him at all.
Of course,
they've just been like non-cool.
How is history going to tell the story? How is history going to tell the story that you guys, the conservative right and Christian right, and you got a dude who is a freak.
Is a freak. Like straight freak. And here's the thing. The black Nazi thing, I feel like all of us could have got over. We could have got over that. As conservatives, it's fine. You're a black Nazi. I can hop, skip, and jump over that. But you being disgusting and perverted and pervasive about your perversion, P words, shout out to my SAT words, that's what Republicans can't get over.
Our pendulum has swung so far. The curve, because you know, as a kid, we get graded on the curve, right? The curve has been so far to the crazyville that we're not worried about him saying he's a black Nazi. We're not worried about him saying that slavery should not be, and I'm paraphrasing, that he would own slaves if he had an opportunity of slavery. No, this dude's, because they're not even, that's pale in comparison to a politician who is a freak in the every street essence of this word. And he still says, I should be the governor of North Carolina. That's right. Yeah.
The good news is he's going to lose. That's the good news.
He's going to lose. But here's the thing. The little breadcrumbs that the Republicans are dropping right now, because the part that we're not paying enough attention to are the fact that these election boards around the country are stacked. And this stuff will come down to the courts. It will come down to the courts. This will not be over before January 6, 2025.
No, so of course not. I mean, Trump's already to be ruined. They're already preparing their lawyers, which is always it's a scammy move. Like to already say before it even the ballots even been put in by the Americans that, oh well, they're probably going to steal it and we've got lawyers ready. It's a bag of, the whole election season this year is a bag of bullshit. I can cuss now because we're 33 minutes in, so I can finally cuss. It's a bag of bullshit.
There was a time limit on when you can.
There is. Cussing. If you cuss before the 10-minute mark, YouTube won't monetize your video. So I got to wait till a certain period to curse.
Here's our marketing moment of the day. As long as you don't drop any F-bombs before the first 10 minutes of your show, you don't get strikes.
Yeah, I don't get strikes.
You know, it's crazy where we are. And I'm preparing myself personally for all the exciting and all the jubilation and all the happiness. There is a very real possibility that Trump could win this election, that the Republicans can get control of the Senate, and they can maintain control of the House of Representatives. And without winning the popular vote for one time in the last 30 years, they can have control of it all.
I do not think Trump is going to win because he keeps scaring his base. The base keeps trickling off because he keeps doing stuff he shouldn't do. For example, the last thing that made the best, but we're not even looking at the list anymore of our hot topics. We'll get back to it in a second. The last thing he said, this was on Tuesday, Monday, that immigrants will have to carry around serial numbers to be identified. And a lot of Republicans and a lot of MAGA people were like, that sounds like, and a lot of Jewish people who have been so pro-Trump have been like, well, that sounds like the Holocaust, where they had to be labeled with numbers and wear a star. So now, and that's really turning people off.
Here's the thing. And there's a story out of a black man out of Philadelphia that's a third-generation American that was put in detention for a month before they finally got him out. He's like, I'm a third-generation American. There is no 2-3 generations ago, my family was from the Caribbean or from Haiti. I'm a third-generation American. They wouldn't even listen to him. They wouldn't even hear him out. You know, we keep thinking, okay, so here's the thing, folks. y'all don't want to take this stuff seriously. Okay, if Trump says that he's going to activate the federal law enforcement to go into Chicago or go into DC or go into LA or go into Dallas and start rounding up these illegals. Once they get finished rounding those people up, do you think they're going to leave? Do you think they're not going to stay there and give anybody who's an enemy of Donald Trump hell while they're in that space? If you are black, if you are someone who has had an abortion, do you think this guy has a point where he stops? Hell no, he doesn't have a point where he stops. And so I look at this stuff and I'm like, man, folks better take this crap seriously. We're still at a 30 to 35% rate of people who are eligible to vote who are actually voting. As much as we think it's so, and so they're looking at this thing and they're saying, man, what's all said and done? It really, he said, I don't need your votes. He said that out of his mouth. Like when it comes down to it, we are going to steal this election. We're going to claim that the Democrats are stealing this election, but we've already got it in place. We've already stacked the election boards right here in Georgia. You got these folks that have stacked this election board. They've stripped a lot of the power to Secretary of State in Georgia, right here in Georgia, where I am. And I'm sitting back and saying, I just want November the 5th and then January 6th to get here and just pray that these courts on all levels decide, okay, this is a bridge too far. We've got to get this mess under control.
And, it doesn't help when and we're going to ease into the Janet Jackson. It doesn't help when you get people like Janet Jackson who, I don't even know what to say about this. So for those guys who don't know, Janet Jackson, let me pull up the story, did a recent interview. And they were asking her, are you excited about there being the first black female president? And she says, I heard that she was Indian. And they were like, well, no, she's both. She's black and Indian. She was like, no, I heard that it was discovered that her father was Irish. Her father was white. And, Janet was like, well, I haven't checked the news in a while, but that's what I heard. And that is a very dangerous misinformation thing to say, especially given all the turmoil about her race and all that kind of stuff. And listen, has Janet Jackson ever made comments about politics, though? That's where we should start. No. Have you ever heard her? Exactly. So I don't take it as Janet being some politically savvy person.
Going back to her getting burned by iron on Good Times, I've been watching Janet Jackson for the last 40 plus years of my life. And Janet Jackson has never come out and said anything about politics. Why is she waiting? Social media is the death of these people, man. And you sitting back and it's just like people say, well, Janet Jackson is extremely isolated. You just don't understand how isolated she is. Does she not have Safari? Does she not have Google on her phone? Like, you sitting around with some people telling you that this woman's daddy is white, and all you gotta do is Google, and it pops up and shows her Jamaican daddy, and you gonna run with that.
Even interesting enough, I was looking at pictures of Kamala Harris because I was looking at her line photos. If you would never know that woman was half Indian, half black. Not with that hairstyle, that skin, that face.
She looked like every other woman, every other Hampton Howard A&T black girl from the 1980s.
She sure does. Like, it's not like Leela. Like, Leela, my daughter, and you guys have not seen her before, Leela looks Indian. Right. You would not know this little girl was my daughter until you kind of looked at her face. She's my entire face. But her hair is not like Kamala's hair. Right. It's not. She's never gonna need a good silk press. All Leela's gonna need is a blow dry and a flat iron, and she's ready to start her day.
Yeah.
But Kamala looked. I said it right the first time.
Kamala. You said it right the first time. Now you're scaring yourself. Now you.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I'm scaring myself.
Kamala.
But they're saying that Randy Jackson.
I'm gonna create a graphic. I'm just gonna hit it every time and just put it over your face and like boop to help you. Just to help you. It's just to help.
They're saying that Randy Jackson is a Trump supporter. And again, I don't think me and Miguel even care that if she's a Trump supporter. I could care less. You want to go perform at Trump rallies, Janet? You do you. You'll never perform at another Essence Fest, but do you.
Right. You'll never
My
get invited
problem
to
is, and will always be, and Miguel's problem will always be the disinformation. We don't need to do it, guys. There's enough real information about Trump. There's enough real information that people don't like about Kamala. You do not need disinformation.
No.
It is dangerous.
And that's it. That's there you go. And then you got, everybody, doesn't miss a good chance to make some jokes. And you said D.L. Hughley came out and talked about,
Okay.
talk about her white nose and all this.
Let me pull the story back up.
I
Like,
just,
DL Hughley, I get your sentiment. I get you
he's a
were annoyed.
comedian. It is what it is. He's a comedian, and he gonna run with it. I'm sure he's made some jokes about Diddy and everybody over the course of the last couple of weeks. That's his job. Get up every
But the
morning.
jokes were bad. Okay, so here's what he said. Janet Jackson interview sounded like a Trump rally. It's a little ironic to question whether someone is black while you're breathing through the nose of a white woman.
That's kind of funny.
Stop it.
It's
It is not.
She's had
It's not. It
jobs.
keeps going. He had more to say. Kamala Harris looks the way she does because she has a mom from India and a dad from Jamaica. Sorry. Kamala Harris looks the way she does because
Kamala Harris.
Did I say it wrong the second?
You did.
Kamala Harris looks the way she does because she has a mom from India and a dad from Jamaica. Janet Jackson looks the way she does because she has a plastic surgeon. It's not done. All I know is Kamala looks like she did when she was in Oakland, but Janet don't look like she did when she was Penny. What the hell? What the hell was in that iron?
This is the first time I'm hearing any of this. This is hilarious. Keep going.
It's not funny.
It's hilarious.
But why, DL? DL, I get it. All of us were annoyed with Janet.
Man, Janet asked for that. Janet asked for that comedic ass whooping. She asked for that. Like, come on, man. Stay out of it. Stay out of it, Janet. You are my. I had two crushes as a kid. As a preteen, as a teen, I had two crushes.
Janet and Holly?
No, Holly, no. Holly was nobody until when I was a kid. No, I'm going to see if you can guess my other one. One of them was Janet.
Okay.
One of them was Janet.
MC Light?
MC Light not the same age, no. Now I'm thinking about preteen Miguel now. Preteen Miguel.
What year was that? Give me a year.
1984, 85.
Well, that didn't help Anita Baker.
No, she was as old as my mom. My other crush was Kim Fields. Tootie from Facts of Life. And you're too young.
Here.
Huh? What?
Omar came in here to give me an answer.
What did he say?
Tony Braxton.
Tony Braxton is only a year or two older than me. It's maybe 3 or 4. No,
so Kim Fields was your other Tootie?
She was Tootie then, because you got to think preteen when I'm 12, 13 years old. Tootie from Facts of Life. She was the little cute. And then the other one, she wasn't really a crush, but the one from Saved by the Bell that now she got some issues.
Oh, Lisa Voorhees.
Yeah, but Lark Voorhees.
Her name was on the show.
Tootie had a little roller skates and her little ribbons in her hair. And that was my little 9, 10, 11-year-old crush. And Janet
for your age group, for her age and your age, I get that why that would be your crush. But now Janet is out here, and even crazier. Janet has a child who's basically a Kamala. Her child is half Persian, half black. Her great nephew, Jermaine Jr.'s son, is because that Jermaine Jr. had a baby with one of the stars from the show on Bravo called Shahs of Sunset. That child is half black, half Persian. My children are half black, half Indian. They don't have a white parent.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, Janet, like, this is not your fight. And I got to hold on. You said her name right.
I know. I had to really think about that.
You said Kamala. You said it right.
You see the smoke coming out of the wig? trying to make her remember it? It's so bad.
So, So anyway, man. All right, moving on. Who else are we talking about? We talking about Amber Rose today. What else? Who else are we before we get up out of here? Oh no, we got to get. Let me go ahead and get this right.
Shout out to intern Alexis who gave us like 55 stories about Diddy.
She sure did. All right, what? You had somebody in your mind. Your what story of the week? What's your what story?
Amber Rose is a dirty skank. That is my story. This bald-headed scallywag, no job about to have, and forehead tattoo degenerate whore from OnlyFans got on TMZ and said that yes, they do eat cats and dogs. Haitians, it's a part of their culture. Like, you guys don't understand. They eat cats and dogs over there. I'm like, Wow. You, who has been cosplaying as a black woman for the past 15 years, are going to stand there and just let the whole mask fall off and you become a complete white, trashier version of a Lara Trump girl? Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you say something so egregious? You claim to still have LGBTQ friends, black friends, whatever. Bitch, don't you know that when all this is said and done, you're going to need a job? And the only people who were hiring you prior to this was black networks and who was black adjacent. Who else was hiring Amber Rose?
I have no idea. As far as last time I paid attention to Amber Rose, she was dating Kanye. Was that before or after? Who she got a baby by? Future? Who she got a baby by?
No, Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa. So I don't pay no attention to Amber Rose. It's so what outside of being a reality TV and looking like a big baby Barbie doll. What else is her role?
Ever since her fiance left her for Cher, her mind has been aloof. Her child's father, her second child's father and ex-fiance left her for Cher.
Cher is pushing 80 years old. Cher is pushing 80 years old. If you sit up there, I don't even know. Now, see, I don't pay attention. Is Amber Rose, is she a product of surgery or is her body like that, like on its own? Is that her real body?
I mean, probably a boob job. I don't think she's ever had a BBL or anything like that because she's been shaped the same since she was with Kanye. Like, it's never been a...
She's always been... Okay, so my point is that you have all this going for you. You know, she's not a bad looking woman. She's shapely, and you lose your man. Now, mind you, Cher ain't had no money problems in a long time.
Never. Never.
Cher was the queen of disco
and rich since the
40
70s.
plus years ago. Cher was the queen of disco 40 plus years ago. So maybe that's his motivation that, you know, after all that, you know, you get tired of looking at her at what's her name, Amber Rose, and you look over there and say, she got bread. I think I'm going to slide over.
But even funnier, Amber Rose has always been a hoe. I mean, and I'm sorry if people don't like that word, but all you've done is been on OnlyFans, Fashion Nova deals, half naked on Instagram, your slut walk. Am I going to be with that for the rest of my life? Or the multi-million-dollar singer who keeps all of her clothes on, even though she's 80, whatever, fine.
Speaking, finish your thought, because I got something, because I don't know this.
That's my thought. You can go.
So I was on Instagram scrolling. I spend way too much time on Instagram, admittedly. But I've never had a porn problem on Instagram. Is it just me? Because I know that's an issue on X. But
you mean a porn problem?
Like you know how the short videos pop up on your thread when you're looking and something pops up and want you to take a look. And it was a full-fledged, and it wasn't, but it was, I'm talking like strip club, like in nothing but a thong. I said, hold on, this is a Twitter problem. When did this become allowable on Instagram? Am I missing it? Somebody drop it in the chat if some of y'all get I don't get that, and all of a sudden it popped up on my feed.
So you might have clicked on something and changed your algorithm. Like you might have clicked on something that you didn't even think about, like something innocuous, and that's what changed your algorithm. Because I've had that happen.
Happening. I'm starting to see like videos that are popping up, and when you look at the comment, it has nothing to do with the video. They're selling a T-shirt or selling an album or whatever. It ain't got nothing to do with the video that's popped up there. Another thing, there's a guy out there, you probably have heard him, and his name is Super Ray 14 or something. He's got these funny videos. He's got this annoying voice. I have to send him to you. But now he's going live.
Is he the one who was singing the backseat that Diddy video with R. Kelly? When R. Kelly meets Diddy in jail or something?
I don't know. But he makes, I ain't gonna lie, you know, he caught my attention because he makes really, really funny.
He's a light-skinned guy, right?
No, he's not light-skinned.
Okay. He very rarely shows something weird the other day, and I was like, no, thank you.
This guy very rarely shows his face, but he makes really, really funny videos, and he's screaming and he's laughing and he's super Ray 14K. This guy, but then these people need to understand, like, hold on, wrong scene. Where is my Safari scene? There it is. This guy right here, Super Ray 14K.
I don't know him.
He makes really, really funny videos, voiceover videos. But now he decides he wants to get into, you know, he wants to, you know, let me see if I can you get a little bit of a taste of it. All right.
Take a bitch on a date. She ain't even ate. Told that bitch she.
Okay, all right. He cussing too much now. Anyway, um, some of them are really funny, but now all of a sudden, this
This
idiot,
is not funny.
you have to see some of his stuff. It's admittedly it's funny, but to me, but now he wants to get into politics. Like, yo, dude, yo, probably 1 foot out of prison ass, probably not even registered to vote. Stop talking about Trump. Because here's the thing, I am starting to see. I keep on trying to defend brothers and saying it ain't that many idiots out here, and there are a lot of young men under the age of 50. They're saying the numbers now 25 up to 25% of black men under the age of 50 that are saying that they want to vote for Trump. They keep talking about the STEMIs, idiot, which was not Donald Trump. But these people have, like, that guy I just showed you has over 2 million followers on Instagram. I don't keep up with what's going on TikTok, whatever. I'm sure he's got a whole bunch of them over there on TikTok as well. These people cannot be ignored. And that's why you're seeing these politicians that are giving them, I remember when Cardi B got an audience with Bernie Sanders 6, 7, 8 years ago. And we were all looking like, why in the world is Bernie Sanders doing an interview with Cardi B? Yeah, because, Cardi B's got a big audience than CNN at any given moment. And so you look at it and you say, if you're trying to reach these young people, you have to give these people. And now these people who are totally irresponsible, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're trying to get into the foray of politics. And now you're starting to see some folks that are coming out on the other side. Even some people. There's a sister that's on Urban View. She's hilarious. I might send that link to you too. But this election, oh Jesus, Amber. We're talking about Amber Rose in the same breath of politics. We're talking about Amber Rose in the same show with Kamala Harris. And you have to really take it seriously and say, give this woman some attention, because there are idiots out here that say, oh yeah, I'm like Amber Rose, and I think she's right. And I'm just like, anyway, all right, my ramble is over.
No, it's a I don't know. The other story, and this is kind of somewhat, but it's a serious somewhat, is that JD Vance, this will be the last story for the night, because we're probably going to talk about this for a few minutes, because JD Vance came out and actually admitted that he's basically making up stories about, and it's disgusting. I don't have a funny joke to say about it. It's disgusting.
JD Vance said out of his mouth.
Of his own state, by the way. He is the senator for Ohio.
He is one of the 2 senators for Ohio. JD Vance said out of his mouth what Trump has been doing for the last 10 years to us. He says just random stuff. It doesn't have to be true just to get into the news cycle. That is what Trump has been doing, starting all the way back to the birtherism with Barack Obama. He was not nobody took his guy seriously when he came down that elevator in 2015. Nobody. And I go back to every time people, if folks who don't know this, it was one Obama joke at that press event, that press dinner that they always have, when he clowned Donald Trump at that event in 2011, which cost us all of this. Mm-hmm. And I look at that stuff, and you can't hate on Barack and say, because that's where the birtherism started. He clowned Donald Trump at that 2011 press dinner, and Trump from then on says, Correspondence dinner. Correct. And it has cost us now a generation. And I just look at this thing and said, when will it stop?
You're right. It was that dinner, because it wasn't just him who made the jokes. Mm-hmm. It was also the main comedian that night, the late night, Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers is the one who really went ham and cheese that night as well, and that just pushed into where we are. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the fact that we're at a point now, and again, you keep saying the word Looneyville, the fact that we're literally can say we're in Looneyville. Yeah. We've got a vice presidential candidate who's making up stories, who isn't even really liked or supported by the main candidate, like who doesn't even really want to run with his butt no more. We have got just lies spewing everywhere. We have an entire population of Haitians who were recruited to stay there because they couldn't find people to fill the jobs, being accused of eating cats and dogs. I don't like that. I cannot wait, and it's probably going to take a good 5 years. And agree with me, it's going to take 5 years. Maybe it takes 10 years. Maybe it takes 2 election cycles, where the Republican Party can get back to we just disagree fundamentally, but I'll still high five you and sit next to you at the Correspondence Dinner. We're not there right now. We're in a
No, we,
completely
we aren't
different.
going to be
We
there.
hate you.
We aren't going. Here's the thing, and depending on how bad this election cycle goes, I don't believe JD Vance is going anywhere. I've said this on the show before. I don't believe and here's why. Here's why I say that. JD Vance is very well spoken. He was a communications guy in the Marine Corps. He's a handsome guy, he's a tall guy. He doesn't present himself, boisterous and over the top until you listen to his actual words. He'll look you in the camera real calm and say, Haitians are eating cats and dogs, sir. That's the truth. And you look at it, and some people are probably sitting back and saying, that's a nice guy. I gotta believe him, right? And we're sitting back and said, hello, McFly, listen to this clown. He's talking about people eating cats and dogs and pets off people's porches. But JD Vance is not going anywhere. I don't think the Trump family is going anywhere.
We talked about this in the production meeting. They said the same thing about Sarah Palin. Where is she now?
He is not Sarah Palin. He is not.
But listen to what I'm saying. They said the same exact thing about Sarah Palin. We talked about this. There's actual video recording of when John McCain conceded. He got a nice little clap. When she came out, she got a standing ovation. And they really thought that Sarah Palin was going to have some brilliant, amazing career, whether she stayed in politics, whether she became a newscaster, something like that. They thought she was in Vanity Fair. She was in People Magazine. She was everywhere. She was supposed to be the new face of the Republican Party. Where is that bitch now?
First of all, there will never be a woman that will be the face of the Republican Party. Let's just start there.
Okay.
And so there's that. She's not built on a lot of substance. Sarah Palin, was a relatively.
There's JD Vance. What substance?
We talk about this, kid. We are marketers when it's all said and done, right? When it's all said and done.
And he's not marketable. That's my issue.
He is extremely marketable. JD Vance is, to me, I'm just telling you, man. I look at JD Vance and I look at what the Republican Party has turned into, where they're not even hiding the fact that they are about the hierarchy of white males right now. Like, you think about Nikki Haley and how much Nikki Haley is moderate enough that she could have gotten some centrist and independent votes, and the Republicans were not interested.
You want to hear something interesting that I just thought about? And I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I just had the... Why are so many Indian Americans becoming extremely whitewashed? When you think about the former governor of Louisiana, who went by some nickname and not even his real name, you think about Nikki Haley, you think about Vivek, and you think about JD's wife, Usha. Why?
Yeah, we've had this conversation. It's one word. It's assimilation.
Indians can't be the model minority because they stick to their culture too hardcore.
If first of all, if Asians, if Chinese folks can be the model minority, why can't Indian folks be an adjacent? Because as you said, Nikki Haley, much easier than someone of a Chinese descent, can change her name, straighten her hair, put a little blonde flecks in her hair, and just become a dark-haired white woman. An Asian woman from China can't pull that off, right? And so that is, but it's assimilation. And they're saying it out loud now. They're saying that is what they're looking for. They're looking for people to assimilate. They're starting to use. They're not supposed to be using that word in public. I told you this about 5+ years ago when we got invited. You have. I told you when we got invited to that doggone NRA meeting, and the word assimilation was constantly used. And now, if you do a Google search for Republicans and assimilation, I'm sure you'll get a bunch of videos popping up, because the problem with the Democratic Party and liberals and progressive is that they refuse to assimilate. That's what Republicans and white supremacists hate the most about us. We're not.
But here's the thing, I guess, because, and again, for those who are new listening, my husband is in the Indian culture, and what I've seen from the Indian culture is that they hold on to it very tightly. I mean, weddings, religion, food. It is not something that is just like, oh, we can just assimilate to America so easily because it's just easy to throw all these things away. The older generation will not allow that. My
Mm-hmm.
kids, my son is so, I need to have indie. I need to have, grandma's got to cook grandma food. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want your food. I want grandma food. He
Mm-hmm.
wants aloo curry. He wants dal. He wants roti. He wants all the traditional stuff, and his grandmother passes that on to him because that's so important to her. And even when you think about people like Bobby Jindal, whose real name is Payush, he didn't completely whitewash himself. He's married to an Indian woman who they practice Hinduism. Like
So, but
they got married in
let me ask you this question: what does the
yeah.
Indian community feel about Bobby Jindal and Nikki Haley changing their names?
Well, everybody, we talked about this. Everybody has a. I'm going to say it wrong. Everybody has a book name. Everybody has a call name. For example, my mother-in-law. We talked about this on the show before. Her legal name is Bhagwanti. Everybody's not calling her Bhagwanti. The call name she has to make it easier for people is Nadia. So everybody says, most people say Nadia, but her legal name is Bhagwanti. The same thing with
Mm-hmm.
her sisters,
Mm-hmm.
Bhagwanti, Tejwati. Their real names are Pam and Nanda, but they go by these. They have these other legal
Those are form.
names.
We're all a product. My name is Miguel Lloyd.
Your mom really just
My name is Miguel Lloyd. It ain't nothing
Miguel.
Hispanic about me outside of my mother at the time, and my older brother's name, rest in peace, was Carlos, because she felt the Hispanic community was going to have, for whatever reason, she liked these Hispanic names. And so, but my last name is Lloyd, which is probably some Irish English name, right? America is all about assimilating into white culture. It's what it's about. And when you don't assimilate 100%, you get to where you are today, where you got folks that are, they're trying to take over and they're trying to eat cats and dogs and blah, 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 blah. And so I'm just, like I said, I asked a question about Bobby Jindal and Nikki Haley, and to that end, Miguel Lloyd. Like, I don't know the ancestry of my family because of the way we came here, and so that's a conversation we can't get into right now because the show is over. But
Yeah, show's over. But you guys get what we're saying. It's just very interesting. I'm just having that epiphany that a lot of these Indian people, more than Asian politicians, more than Black politicians, we see a lot of Indian American politicians coming out, and they end up being Republican. And by the way, Bobby Jindal is actually not Hindu anymore. He converted to Catholicism because he's a dodo. I'm sorry.
assimilation.
I'm a Black mom, and I can't wait to throw my daughter the big Indian wedding that's 5 days long, and all of her dresses and all of her I forgot what it's called. Mine's going blank. I can't, even if she decides to be Christian, I still want to throw her
Of
the
course.
big Indian wedding
I'm
because
always,
it's
I
so
say it,
beautiful.
I'll say it 10 times to Sunday. Love who you love. Just bring your culture to the party. We just got to stop.
Thank you.
We got to stop saying, this part of me no longer exists. And so when you keep hearing
Yes.
all these conversations around Kamala Harris and her heritage, when I think back growing up, the people in my community, some of my closest friends growing up, they were just Black to us. Now I think back in the day, I had friends that were Black and Filipino. I had friends that were Black and Caribbean. I had friends that were probably Black and Indian. We know everybody from Jamaica and from the West Indies
West Indies.
has some Indian heritage in it. That's where the spices and the curries and that combines with soul food and that's what makes us amazing. And so for folks who just don't want to accept that, we're going to continue this conversation from Kingdom Come, and that's why you get to the point that these folks are talking about bringing in the military and stop trying to stop this. It is what it is. America is really a vast nation. There's a lot of land in America that is going unused, and I promise you, most of us don't want to have anything to do with what's going on in Iowa or South Dakota or in the middle of the country. Y'all can have that. Most of us are in these cities outside on the coast. Leave us alone. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all on Wednesday. I'll let you.